is Jackie. And of course, tonight I am so excited about my guest. This is my friend Rachel. This is a different kind of live than I have ever done before. So Rachel came to us, and she had been just recently struggling with ADD and different things. I'm going to let her tell her story. Also, it's dark on her end because she's actually in her car. She made time for me tonight in her car waiting at her son's sports practice. I am so thankful, Rachel, that you have done this for us. But her story is the most powerful, I'm just telling you, story about focus, about our product Focus I have ever heard. So if you or someone you love has ever dealt with any kind of ADD, I want you to not only tune in, but I want you to tag them in the comments of where you're watching, because your mind is about to be blown. So Rachel, without me talking, I want you to do all the talking. So will you kind of just tell everyone your story about the ADD and then how you discovered Focus?
Yeah, for sure. So it would have been a year ago, March or so, maybe April. And I knew for a while that I had been like struggling with symptoms of what looked like ADHD. And I just started seeing, you know, how like now I feel like a lot more people are conscious of like, okay, maybe this is actually an undiagnosed case of this. So things that I just thought were mom brain kind of wrote off as just being busy and all of that. But then it really started to be affecting my daily life, even like anxiety, depression, all of that. It was all kind of all together as one. And so I realized it kind of all stemmed from what turned out to be ADHD. I did actually go see a psychologist and was able to get an official diagnosis, but I know in a lot of cases you can kind of just figure out that this is what you're dealing with. And so it was really helpful to know that that was what I was dealing with. So at that point, he did prescribe me prescription medication, but I had just come off my anti-anxiety medication and really wanted to stay away from pharmaceuticals if I could. I know they totally have a place, not going to bash them, but I just felt like I wanted to try at least to do something naturally first and see if it helped. So I filled my Amazon cart with all of the things that I looked up. I was researching for days, again, ADHD, hyperfocus. So I hyper-focused on how can I solve this problem? How can I cure myself or whatever, help all of these symptoms? And so I researched all these different ingredients, made lists of like what each one did and kind of my priority of like what the top 10 were that I wanted, filled my cart, and I was like, I swear it was over $300 of like all these different ones, and thinking like, okay, so now I need to narrow it down and figure out what is the most important. And
Right.
and I know, you know, the B vitamins, that's huge. So that's something that oftentimes if you're dealing with symptoms that appear to be like ADHD, that you are deficient in B vitamins, and your body is not producing dopamine, and so you need things that are going to naturally produce dopamine. So anyways, I kind of tried to look at like the top, what I would choose. And again, I was still well over $150 for that kind of stuff that I had narrowed it down to. So anyways, I was like searching for all kinds of things, and randomly came across Trinont, which I don't know even how it happened, but I went onto their website because I was just maybe looking at all supplement companies and like trying to like find something, and I saw one called Focus, and I was like, okay, what is in that? And so looked at it, and as I'm reading through the ingredients, I was just like, okay, every single thing on here is what was on my list and more. So it had like checked every box. And then also I was like, okay, well, what are these extra ones that I had never heard of? And they were just, again, like every single thing that they are used for is exactly what you need to help contradict or whatever, counteract what's happening. So
that is amazing. So did you hear that? $300 worth. And she was able to find all those ingredients in one product, our Focus. So again, if you or somebody you love deal with any kind of these symptoms of ADHD, comment below. And so many adults, like, this is kind of like off topic, Rachel, but like, I know that it's very like a lot of adults I talk with feel very like weird about that diagnosis. And you're like a super solid, normal person. Like if somebody's watching this and they think they might have ADHD and they're kind of like scared to even look into it or go see somebody or get help, like what would you say to that person?
Yeah, I think in that case, like honestly, so a circumstance that's sort of similar is my son. I could see a lot of things that he was dealing with that looked like what I had dealt with, and reminds me of my childhood. And because he isn't, like I'm not super loud, or like I didn't cause problems in class, or like I wasn't a disruption. Like it was none of that stuff. And so you almost kind of have this like stigma of what that looks like, and kind of the other things that it can really go like under the radar. And so anyway, for him, I didn't get a diagnosis. I just was like, okay, well, I mean, maybe this could help you. So I thought he must maybe be deficient in these things, right? So I feel like there's no harm. None of the ingredients in Focus are something that's going to be harmful if you don't need it. You know what I mean? Like it's just all really high quality natural supplements, and the like the Mental Clarity blend that has, it's like Trinon's amazing blend. That's again, like you've got your Lion's Mane mushroom powder, like all of the extra stuff in there.
Sure.
And that's all so good for the brain and brain health. And all these ingredients were like, are things that are like tested on children as well. There's so many studies on each of the ingredients that are all like studies are done, as well as overseas. A lot of them are natural Alzheimer's medications and that kind of stuff. So I found that really none of it, like it wasn't in a high enough dose that I was worried about giving it to my son. So in that case, like, so as you were kind of asking, yeah, if you were like maybe wondering if this could be something that you're dealing with or something that could help you, then yeah, I just gave it to him and it was amazing. I just did 1 tablet a day instead of, or it's a capsule, instead of 3. Just thought I'd start with that and just dissolved it in some juice for him. And I know that it's been amazing for him. And then also a few of my friends have, their children are actually diagnosed with ADHD, and their kids are asking for their Focus juice because they can, like, these 7-year-olds can tell like there's something different happening, right? So yeah, I don't know if that answered your question, but
yeah, for sure. And so, yeah, so like, why not give it a shot, right? Like it's a completely natural product. And yeah, I love that. Okay. So, and then I wanted to ask you too, I actually haven't chatted with you about this since you've started taking it. So she started taking it, she thinks about May or June. So it's been like, well over 6 months. So can you just kind of chat with me about the results of you taking it and your son taking it and kind of what's happened?
Yeah. For myself, I think it's definitely like, the way I can describe it best is like, I think like when I'm taking it, I can like see and recognize the behaviors, or like, let's say I forget to close the cabinet door, like just like every like random little step that I don't complete the task fully or whatever. It's helped make me more like conscious of it. It's a really strange thing. It's almost like I can, like an out of body experience where I'm like, oh, hold on, like wait a second, Kate, finish that. Like I don't know, it's such a strange feeling where you're like, okay, I feel in control of things, as opposed to being like, oh my, like just kind of my brain just constantly going. I think as mothers, our brains are always constantly going, but like it's a different kind of feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
For my son too, like he can tell the days that he forgets to take it. Like, and that's the crazy thing, is it's not even like, how pharmaceuticals, you need to like get them in your system and make sure you don't miss a day or whatever. And this is just like an instant, like your body needed those vitamins and it just like bumps them up. So as soon as he doesn't take it, then he's like, oh, I forgot that today. I could definitely tell. And he's 9, but yeah, he can tell when he's missing that. So it's pretty cool.
I love that. I love that. So thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing your story. I know so many people, they have this bad stigma when something like that is diagnosed, but Rachel, you have been so kind to be so open. It makes me literally, I'm going to like put it in my phone after lunch every day. Cause remember, it does have caffeine. So don't take this at night. But every day after lunch, I am totally taking this because I could see myself like getting that like squirrel brain feeling.
Yeah.
And I know when I do take it, I do feel so much more grounded and so much more productive and so much able to focus on just one thing at a time instead of like opening every cupboard and halfway and unloading the dishwasher and then moving on to the laundry and then moving on to my phone. And like, anyway,
Yeah.
before you know it, my house is a wreck because I'm like half done everything.
Yes.
Okay.
For
Well, thank
sure.
you guys so much. For those of you who are watching this in the ripple effect, would you go back to the person that invited you to this group if you or someone you love have dealt with this? And if you think this could be helpful for them, like Rachel said, if you look at all the ingredients and all of the supplements you'd have to take to get in this one product, be over $300. So it's worth giving it a shot. And I know that it will be super helpful to you. So thank you again, Rachel. We appreciate you. And everybody else, God bless you. Have a great rest of your night. All right. Bye-bye.